Alright, so the newest set for Pokemon TCG Pocket was revealed today. I watched the trailer already, so no reaction, but I was pretty hyped. Lots of new cards were revealed. I have it up here, the ones that we could see from the actual trailer, but there have been confirmed other cards that are going to be coming with this set. There are going to be 80 cards with this set, and there's definitely some interesting cards in there that's, I think, should shake up the meta. It should definitely bring new decks to light, and there's definitely some like anti-meta cards. At least it seems that way in this new set. I think I already mentioned this thing is going to be 80 cards, I believe. 5 new trainer cards, and 5 new EX cards, and we already know 2 of those EXs. So yeah, let's dive into it and take a look at what we got. So the first card is the Mew EX, and this is a 130 HP card that has the attack genome hacking, where choose one of your opponent's active Pokemon's attacks and use it as this attack, which sounds crazy, right? It's like Ditto, but just better in every possible way because you don't have to have the energy requirement there. Now, I'm sure there are a lot of questions about how this interacts with certain attacks. Like, what if you go up against a Mew EX and you guys both use genome hacking? Well, you just can't copy the attack, I'm pretty sure. This comes from, just the physical live TCG game. You can't copy a copy attack, so that just doesn't work. But of course, Pokemon Pocket, although it is derived from the actual physical TCG game, it doesn't exactly follow the same rules. So at the end of the day, we can only speculate how this is going to interact with some attacks, because the developers for the physical TCG live game and then also the developers for Pocket are 2 different developers. So, the code might not exactly line up the same. So there could be some bugginess going on and some weird interactions. Like, we've already seen posts on Reddit where things kind of seem a little iffy, like the interaction between Charizard and Dugtrio, where Dugtrio, right, if you flip heads, all of the effects and damage doesn't apply. However, if Charizard still attacks a Dugtrio, you still discard 2 energy, which seems like it should be an effect of the card or of the attack, but it still goes through, even though Dugtrio is supposed to prevent all effects of attacks done to the Pokemon. Although I guess you could be argued that the effect doesn't actually apply to Dugtrio, so that's why it doesn't that's why it still discards the 2 energy. But that's also another question for genome hacking. Like, if Mew EX doesn't have fire energy, does it still work? Does Charizard's Crimson Storm attack still work for Mew EX? And so how does that interaction work, right? So the only thing we can say for sure right now is that Mew EX is definitely going to be a anti-meta card for Mewtwo EX, because it only requires 3 energy versus 4 for Mewtwo EX. And if Mewtwo is in the active, you get to copy the attack before Mewtwo gets charged up. So yeah, Mew EX is looking pretty cool. 130 HP is kind of low. It's a little bit on the low side, so it does get one shot by several attacks in tandem with Giovanni. But that's fine. It's still a pretty strong Pokemon. So I think Mew X is going to be very splashable. You could probably see this card just being slotted into several decks. It's might even become a staple card. Who knows? But we'll just have to wait and see. Everything right now is just total speculation, and speculating is fun. Okay, that's all that we're doing. The next EX card is Aerodactyl EX, 140 HP with an ability called Primeval Law. Your opponents can't play any Pokemon from their hand to evolve their active Pokemon. And then a 2 energy attack, Land Crush. This is the 2 energy attack, I think, in my opinion, is more interesting than the actual ability. So let's explain it. So the thing about this ability is that it only applies to the active Pokemon. So many decks don't really evolve the active Pokemon except Koga. So this Pokemon actually kind of counters Koga decks. Not so much Mewtwo decks or Charizard decks, because those decks, they don't evolve in the active spot. They evolve while on the bench. So Aerodactyl isn't really going to do much. So that is kind of unfortunate. But, you know, if they get into a situation where they get stuck, right, it forces them to retreat before they can actually evolve. So there can be some opportunities where this ability does help out. But I think in general, this ability is not as good as when I first saw it and thought about it. And actually, I think that the attack is the better thing. One colorless and one fighting energy. That's really easy to power up for a stage 1 Pokemon. 80 damage for 2 energies is super powerful, in my opinion. 80 damage consistently, 2 shots, a lot of Pokemon in the format. With the Giovanni, even more so. So, solid attack. It's super easy to charge up. So, I think just for the attack alone, you could probably see some Aerodactyl EX in some decks. Although it does require... This is a fighting type Pokemon, though, so... You might not see this as kind of like a splashable card, although you might, because it is only just 1 fighting energy, so that's not too bad. But that remains to be seen. Next is Marshadow. This is the alt art, or yeah, the illustration rare version of Marshadow. So this is super cool. I like the art. The art's cool. And the attack is Revenge. If any of your Pokemon were knocked out by damage from an attack, during your opponent's last turn, this attack does 60 more damage. So this attack does 100 damage as a revenge kill, only for 2 energies. So 100 damage for 2 energies, again, like that's a lot of damage. It does require, your active Pokemon to be knocked out the previous turn, but like, you know, when you're trying to trade points, that's really good. And again, only 2 energies for 100 damage is super solid, in my opinion. And retreat cost is only 1. It's only 1. So if Marshadow somehow manages to survive, it can pivot out and then go for another revenge the next turn. So that's really good. 80 HP is kind of low, so I feel like, you know, in most cases that probably won't happen, and you're just going to be using Marshadow just to kind of keep up in the prize or the point trade. And then also note that due to weakness, Marshadow straight up one-shots Pikachu EX. So you can kind of see, I think fighting types are getting some sauce. Fighting types are definitely getting some sauce and some anti-Pikachu cards. So if you are playing a fighting deck, Marshadow is definitely going to be a card you want to play, in my opinion. Next up, let's look at Vaporeon. Vaporeon is a water-type Pokemon, 120 HP, and has the ability, as often as you like during your turn, you may move a water energy from one of your benched Pokemon to your active water Pokemon. That seems crazy to me, especially when you have Misty in the format. So if you get lucky with Misties, right, and if you get like trapped by a Sabrina, and if you have a Vaporeon on board, this just allows you to redistribute your water energies so that you can attack whenever you want. The attack is a Wave Splash, though. 1 water energy, 2 colorless. That's actually pretty good. And 60 damage. 60 damage is kind of low for 3 energies, so that's not great. But again, like if you ever get into a situation where this gets pulled up by Sabrina or a Pidgeot or something like that, you know, then you have the ability to still attack because of the washout ability. So this is I think this is a very interesting card. I think this is a very good card. If you play a water deck, you might want to consider running a Vaporeon just for this ability. At least, you know, in the physical TCG where you have bigger decks and the games kind of run longer, this card seems pretty good. But maybe in the more faster format of Pokemon Pocket, it might not be so good. But I think this card does have very high potential in water decks. And just having the ability to just redistribute energy is I think, is powerful. All right, next up is Dedenne. This alt art is so freaking nice. I love it. It's so cute. Thunder Shock. Flip a coin. If heads, your opponent's active Pokemon is now paralyzed. 1 energy. This is Jigglypuff, but like a better version of Jigglypuff. And 10 extra HP and actually does damage. 10 damage. 10 damage can be like, you know, make or break for some HP breakpoints. So awesome card for electric decks. Dedenne, I think you're going to want to play Dedenne in your deck as like a pretty decent stall card. Because we've already seen that just regular Sing Jigglypuff made a pretty huge impact. Although I will say that Jigglypuff can evolve into Wigglytuff, so like it does have more damage potential like in the later game, and then Dedenne doesn't really have that. So that might be the downside of Dedenne, but still, you know, paralysis is pretty good in the shorter 3-point format of Pokemon Pocket. So I think this one I think has some sauce for electric decks. Although the main electric deck that we play nowadays is Pikachu, and perhaps you don't need this. Maybe you replace your Pinchurchins with Dedenne, potentially, right? Because Pinchurchin requires 2 energies, and this is now 1. So that could perhaps be an upgrade, I think, in my opinion. So if you do run Pinchurchin in your Pikachu decks, I think replacing it with Dedenne is probably going to be the best play. Next up is the Tauros card. Fighting Tackle. If your opponent's active Pokemon is a Pokemon EX, this attack does 80 more damage for a total of 120 damage. Tauros has 100 HP. Which I do not like. If this had 110 HP, this card would have been perfect. But with 100 HP, it's kind of iffy. It's kind of scary. And Fighting Tackle, it seems like a good anti-EX card, doesn't it? 120 damage. But Tauros is just going to get knocked out immediately. And 3 energies is quite the commitment to charge it up. So, although it seems good on paper, I'm not sure if we're going to be seeing this as a staple card. Maybe we can as kind of like an end game card, right? You try to play the Tauros towards the end game and then try to weaken an EX Pokemon to that 120 HP benchmark. I can see that happening, but I don't think you're going to be playing Tauros like at the start, because 3 energies at the start is just too much commitment, and 100 HP is just not enough to tank. EX Pokemon are going to get charged up faster, especially Pikachu EX, right? And it can one-shot this with a Giovanni combo. So, yeah. Tauros, cool, but I'm not so sure. I'm not 100% sure on that. Well, that's kind of a wait-and-see kind of card to see how the meta shapes up. So, that's my take on it. We got Snivy, so this means we're getting the Snivy line. We're going to get Servine and Serperior. I'm interested to see what Serperior is going to give us. And if I were to guess, I'm thinking we're going to get a Serperior EX. I hope we do, and I hope that it's going to be super cool. But that's kind of it. It's got high HP, and it's got 2 energy cost for its attack, Vine Whip. So it's very similar to Bulbasaur. Interesting. Next, we have Delmise, Energy Whip, 1 energy, 20 damage. If this Pokemon has 3 extra energy attached grass energy, the attack does 70 more damage. So 90 damage for... so it says at least 3 extra grass energy. I forget. So this card is basically the same as Lapras, and I don't recall how Lapras works. If this requires just 3 total grass energy to do 90, or if it's 4 energies to do 90. Someone in the comments can let me know. But 90 damage for 3 energy is pretty strong. 100 HP, again, I don't like that benchmark. 110 is like the perfect benchmark. So, yeah, it'll be an interesting card. Might see some play. Lapras doesn't really see that much play. So I don't know if Delmise will see much play. So we'll see. Morlul, 1 energy, 60 HP, Ram, 20 damage. This means we're going to get a Shiinotic. And it's probably going to be... I don't think it's going to be an EX. It's just going to be a normal stage 1. But I do think it might come with an ability that will apply some kind of status effect. So I think that'll be cool. Usually Shiinotic is the kind of like status effect kind of Pokemon. So maybe it'll be like flip a coin, and this Pokemon is like... Okay, something like this. Flip a coin. If heads, they are asleep. Flip a coin. If tails, they're poisoned. Something like that. I think it's going to be some kind of guaranteed status effect, and depending on the coin flip, you get a different status effect. So that's what I think Shiinotic might be, but who knows? We'll see. Next up is Execute. Growth Spurt. 50 energy. Colorless. Take a grass energy from your energy zone and attach it to this Pokemon. That's very interesting. So I guess this is a good card if you're going second. A very, very strong card going second, because you can't evolve first turn, but you can attack first turn. So you growth spurt on your first turn if you go second, and then on your second turn you're able to evolve, and then you can attach your energy to something else, right? So actually, wait, hold on. I take that back, right? You have to attach an energy already in order to use Growth Spurt. So what am I talking about? And Executor only requires 1 energy. I guess this gives you enough energy so that you can maybe decide to retreat it later. But sorry, actually I take that back. Never mind. But I mean, still a pretty decent card going second because of the same reasons. But I thought you'd be a little bit better on the energy economy, but again, I take that back. I don't think it's gonna be that good. Is it an upgrade over the original Execute? Yes, I do think so, because just having the option to get more energy onto the field and have the option to retreat is good. So I do think it is an upgrade. All right, what do we got next? We have Larvesta, 80 HP and an attack combustion for 2 energy. So the attack sucks. 2 energies for 30 is way too much, but it's 80 HP. So that means its stage 1 Volcarona is probably going to be pretty tanky. I'm thinking maybe 130 HP, maybe even 140 HP. And it's probably going to have a pretty good attack if its basic version is 2 energies. I'm hoping that it's going to be like a 3 energy Pokemon. It would be even better if it just stays at 2 energy. That would be insane if it does. Volcarona is a really cool Pokemon, and I hope that Volcarona is going to be a playable stage 1. Next, we have Magmar. Fire Blast does 80 damage. Discard 2 fire energies from this Pokemon. To be honest, I don't think this is going to see much play. Discarding 2 fire energy from this Pokemon for 80 damage is not amazing. It doesn't really one-shot anything. It's good damage, but you're behind on like the energy economy. So also its retreat cost is 2, which is pretty bad in my opinion. Not great. So yeah, I don't like that. Cool card though. And real quick, because I did not talk about retreat cost, it just reminded me to talk about retreat cost on the Magmar. Tauros is also a true retreat cost, so it's pretty expensive if you draw it first, and like you have to put it in the active spot at the beginning of the game. Requiring 2 energies to retreat it is kind of iffy. So, all right, and now we got 2 out of the 5 trainers revealed. The first one is Blue, and the second one is Leaf. So Blue. Oh, also, I cannot wait for these full art trainers. Blue and Leaf as full art trainers sounds so fire. It's gonna be so cool. Blue's like theme, his battle theme is also sick. Anyway, let's take a look at this. So during your opponent's next turn, all of your Pokemon take -10 damage from attacks from your opponent's Pokemon. That's pretty good. That's pretty good, I think. It's basically anti-Giovanni, so it allows you to survive. It allows you to survive a turn if you are predicting, like a play where your Pokemon is going to get knocked out and you really don't want it to get knocked out. So I definitely think we can see some Blue being played. I definitely think that this card is good. I see a lot of potential with this card. So yeah, I don't think there's much else to say. Just taking 10 less damage from your Pokemon, from your opponent's attacks is very solid. So we'll see how the meta shakes up with that. Leaf is that during this turn, the retreat cost of your active Pokemon is 2 less. So this is interesting. People are calling it the X speed on steroids, but I kind of disagree because this is a supporter card. You can only use 1 supporter per turn, and we already have X speed, which reduces the retreat cost of your active Pokemon by 1. And, you can run 2. So basically, you can just activate 2 X speeds and get the same effect as Leaf. So is it worth it to spend your supporter on a Leaf for a retreat? It's hard to say. In my opinion, no, because we already have X speed, and just being able to use items unlimitedly is a lot better than using your supporter. I think that there are better supporters, again, like Sabrina, Giovanni, and even Blue, I think would be better. But maybe you can run 1 Leaf in the deck to get 2 retreat costs less. It'll definitely depend on like the type of deck that you're playing. If you're playing a lot of Pokemon that have like 2 retreat costs, then I can see Leaf, being playable. But I think for most decks, I don't think you're going to really be seeing Leaf. But her full art is going to go crazy. That full art Leaf is gonna look so good. I want to pull that full art Leaf. But yeah, I think as kind of like a meta card, I'm not so sure. But we'll see. We'll see how the meta shakes up. That is my take. Again, this is all completely my opinion. You're free to have your own opinion. So there you have it. That is all of the cards that have been revealed so far. This is only a snippet. There was, how many cards is this? I think it's 12, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 10, no, 14. 14 out of the 80 cards have been revealed. So a lot more fun to be had with this new mini set. This mini set, by the way, drops on December 17th, I believe. So coming very soon. Let's keep going down. New solo battles and binders will be added, and also confirms that the Pidgeot EX card will be coming in the new pack. That is cool. So Pidgeot EX historically in the physical TCG is pretty good. Currently in the physical TCG, Pidgeot EX allows you to search your deck for any card that you want. Now I don't think they're going to add that ability to this Pidgeot EX, but I'm sure that this Pidgeot EX is going to have an ability for sure. What it's going to be, I don't know, but I think it'll be pretty good. We'll see. And then there's a campaign. Players will receive 12-pack Hourglasses items on December 17th, 18th, and 19th. There will also be a holiday countdown campaign beginning on the 24th, allowing players to receive in-game gifts at no cost. So we get 12 Hourglasses. 12 Hourglasses is 3 packs for free. So yeah, you get 3 free packs. Is that good enough, or is it not good enough? I don't know. I mean, I guess free is free, right? All right, so looking at this, I think we can make an assumption on what other cards are coming. I think we're going to see Purloin. We might see a new Gyarados. A new Gyarados is cool. A new Mankey, really? Huh, that's interesting. We might get a new Mankey in this set. Who knows? What is the base form of Purloin? I forget. Purloin? Dang. Shoot, someone's gonna have to remind me what the name of the stage 1 of Purloin is. It's not Purugly. Shoot, it's gonna bother me. Okay, well then, guys, that is it for this video. Let me know down in the comments what you guys think, especially if you made it this far. Leave a like and subscribe to the channel for more Pokemon TCG Pocket content. Until next time, I'll see you guys later.